tell the people, or tell more about your adventure before we hang up?
Well, what I would love to do is you just put it, you said it so well about this area being so lovely. So I would like to say about Molise. So as I said in the beginning, it's one of the smallest and youngest regions in Italy. And as you rightly said, tourists come and they go to all the big towns, and there is all this over tourism now, worldwide. But if you come to Molise, you'll be in for such a wonderful surprise. We have the most beautiful beaches,
Mhm.
sandy beaches, no dangerous shelving. It's great for families, it's great for people that aren't so steady on their pins, which legs, that's interpretation. When um when I wasn't very well and I was having to use sticks to walk, I think things like that are very important to know there's no shelving. The beaches are safe, they're clean, and they're stunningly beautiful. And then, so that I read something about Molise, which is very true. You can be in the mountains of Molise. You could go skiing in the morning. And then in the afternoon, you could be walking along the beach before you go and have a sunset aperitivo. Molise it's this little known place. I call it the small region with the big heart because the people are so friendly here.
Okay.
And you were saying about in San Martino and the people not speaking very much English. And that is true. But Charlie and I, so one of the things we wanted to do for a long, long time was to give English lessons to the community
Right.
if they wanted it. And we've been talking about this for a while, and lots of things, were in the way. There was always something happening. Well, we started these lessons around 4 weeks ago,
Oh, wow,
and
that's an excellent idea.
they're going so well. I mean, honestly, we get so emotional because we have been welcome to this town with open arms. Oh, people have been so lovely to us, and we wanted to do something to give back. So for us, we're doing these lessons, and people are having a laugh and a joke and learning English, and it's so lovely. We were in town today, and all of a sudden you hear this voice call across the street, "Good morning."
I love that. I love it. Now, in reverse, would you consider maybe online Italian lessons?
I am not qualified to give Italian lessons, Nancy. I mean, there's no way. There's one thing you need to know about me is I am a very upfront, straightforward person. I could not pretend. My Italian is definitely not good enough. I mean, look, I can get by now, but yes, I no, I'm definitely not
Okay, for the
fluent.
future, we'll talk about that for the future. Maybe for the future that'll happen because of the longer.
Maybe.
What's one thing that let's suppose someone came and visited you and said, "Oh gosh, I would love to live here. I would love to move to Italy. I'd love to move to Molise." What's one piece of advice or one or two pieces of advice that you would give them about yay or nay or yes or no and do this or be careful of that or watch out for this, or what would you say to them?
Well, Charlie and I have no regrets whatsoever. We absolutely love our life here. The one thing that we miss is our family, our daughter, her husband, and our three grandchildren. But of course, England is quite near, and I'll be going over soon to see them, and I cannot wait. In fact, the first line of book one starts with
Let's read it.
never.
So what does it say?
It says, "Never in a million years did I think that I'd up and live full time in a different country to our daughter. Never in a million trillion years did I think that would be a possibility." Um, but you know, she's a grown woman with a fantastic business of her own. She's very busy. Her husband has his own business. At the moment, they're in Mexico having a fantastic family holiday. Um, they're all happy and thriving. And honestly, I'll always feel a little bit of guilt living. I know I will because I think that's the nature of the beast being a mum. I think you always do. But I also know that she doesn't need me. And if she does need me, she knows and I know. All she need to do is text, call, and I will be on the next flight. So yeah, I think missing your family is something that's a very real thing.
Yeah.
But having said that, we absolutely love our lives here. We really do. I think, you know, we're we're immersed here. When we came, and this is one thing I would say to people, I guess it depends on what you want. Before we came, we chatted about this and we said what we do not want is an expat kind of life. We do not want to just come and seek out English speaking people. Um, we want our friendships to be organic, and no matter where they're from, what language they speak, if we're compatible as friends, then that's wonderful. Even if we have to go like this and you know we can't actually communicate, it was very important to us to come and immerse ourselves in our community and to embrace this life, not come, oh, we're English and we have this English way. Although, having said that, I still, you know, do love a cup of Earl Grey tea.
Yeah.
And I do make scones and jam for my Italian friends. I would say, I would say, if possible, start learning some Italian. That would be very, very helpful. And we did things we did things the way we did them. It was organic, it happened. We had a few nightmares. Um, but as I said, we don't regret any of it. I think what I would say is don't jump feet first into dealing with people that you've just met. Take your time. Take your time and make sure that the people you're dealing with are the right people to be dealing with, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I understand that because, as much as we hate to say it about anyone, there are people out there that will take advantage, and no matter what country you're in, that it doesn't matter. There
Oh, absolutely.
possible.
Yes, exactly. It doesn't matter where you're going, what you're doing, but I just think, you know, take a moment, do your research, and you know, what like I said, we feel truly blessed to be living here in San Martino in Pensacola, where the people are so lovely. They've just been so welcoming, so friendly. And I'm saying this after 5 years. It's at the end of this month, it's 5 years
Wow, since you moved
since
there,
we moved here.
actually living there for 5 years.
Yes. And you know, for almost 3 years of that, we lived in a caravan. And you know, I haven't even got started on some of the nightmares. Like Charlie had to have an emergency operation at 3 o'clock one morning during COVID. I can't even begin to tell you how wonderful people here in San Martino in Molise were. Um, it was a nightmare time. It was very scary. Rosa was amazing and Mama, but not just Rosa and Mama, but just the people in the town, offers of help. And people would say, would you like to come and stay in our house? Because I was in a caravan with two dogs on my own. And I
Oh,
think they might have thought I was slightly crazy because I was saying, I can't leave my dogs. You know, my dogs would be really upset if I left them.
yes.
But I think it's also a testament to how at home I felt here in San Martino because, yes, I was in this caravan, and at the time, our land wasn't fenced. We had a small area fenced so the dogs could, go and have a sniff and a wee without going out onto the road. Um, but I felt very safe here. I felt very, very cared for. Yeah.
Yeah.
And thank God Charlie was well treated and came home to me. Thank God.
I'm not sure I realized that, or I think I heard that one time, but I'd forgotten. But what would you do differently if when you were coming, what would you have done differently looking back on, or would you have done anything differently? We're looking back on the beginning and the house building and the getting everything done. What would you have done differently that you,
Well, with the house building, yeah, we would both have done that slightly differently. I mean, look, we're very pleased with our house.
that's nice.
We're very pleased with we love our land. We love the house, but there were things I yeah, if I'd been fluent, um, things would have been different. That we ended up spending much more than our original budget, and that was very frightening. I think if I had been fluent, I would have made sure that everything was completely itemized and ticked off as it went, and that would have been that and locked in. But it went as it went. I mean, we're not the only people that happened to. That's also happened to other people that we know. And I think that is one thing I would say, especially if you're having renovation work or if you're having a build, just make sure that everything is locked in really tightly so that you don't get, oh yes, that'll be another, or that'll be, oh, and and you kind of think, oh my God. And I think, again, that's not just Italy, that's anywhere.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
if we'd been building in the UK, we would have
Yeah.
locked everything in very tightly. But we didn't speak the language. But I also have to say that the builders that worked on our house were amazing, and we've made friends with them, and we've been very fortunate to have met lots of lovely people during the build. And I'm one of these people, Lee said soonest mended, and I don't want to really go over stuff, but yeah, we would have done things differently about the build, but hey, we're here now,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, I can understand. I can understand I mean, it's hard enough when you speak the language to make sure everything is in order, and because I've dealt with contractors and things like that before, and it's like you think this, and even if you get that, well, something happens, the part is more expensive now, or the wood is,
Yeah.
the bricks or whatever is more expensive, and you weren't counting on that, and it's difficult, but
Yeah.
I can't
Well,
even.
I think the one thing for us, sorry, Nancy, I've interrupted you, but I think the one thing for us, and it was a real shock to us, is that the plans of our house show our house on ground level. And this was very important to us because obviously I have this chronic arthritic
Right.
disease. And so the house was meant to be flat on the ground. You walked from the grass onto a little, a little concrete area or marbled area, and then into the house with a ramp that goes down to the cantina because we were thinking ahead. And actually, I'm going to quickly jump here. You said, is there any advice you give? I would say this to you: if you're going to fall in love with a house, just think about the future. Don't think, oh, this house is so lovely, and then find yourself unable to get up and down steep steps,
Yeah.
or, So because we'd had this episode in our lives where at one point Charlie and I both thought I was going to need an electric wheelchair because, it was very, very bad. We thought, right, if ever something like that happens, we will be able to take the wheelchair, if we needed to buy one, down the ramp and charge it downstairs and come out again. So we had all of this. So we don't even know how it happened that our house is, I think it's a meter out of the ground.
Yeah.
And we, you know, uh, uh, we feel stupid because why, why didn't we stop the work and say, hang on, why is our house? Why is this? But I don't know. All I can say is that when there's piles of excavation and you're just not, and then all of a sudden, the house is almost complete, and you're thinking, well, actually, we can't get into our house because our house is this much higher. And there was no conversation about it. And I think that was the thing that
Yeah.
upset us. There was no conversation, there was no explanation. And then we had to, well, Charlie, that's the royal we, that is, because Charlie had to think of a way to make sure we could get in and out of the house.
And yeah, and people
So
coming
he
to visit
built,
too, you know, people coming
yeah, so
as well.
he
Yeah.
built a ramp and steps. Um, and and he did it, but of course that was extra cost and everything else. So that was a little bit of a nightmare for us. However, I always look on the bright side. I'm definitely a glass half full kind of person. The bonus about this, I don't know what to call it, this occurrence, is that we have even better views than we would have had. And so now that it's done, you know, now we think to ourselves, okay, well, we do have these stunning views, and you can sit up in bed in the Tremity room and see the islands. But if that mistake hadn't been made, then you would not be able to see the Tremity Islands from there. Um, and I say mistake because our plans don't show that, and we at no point discussed that. We just found ourselves in that situation. So that's the way it is. How it happened, I don't know. Perhaps it was a God-given gift, and you know,
I think you're right. I think it was a divine intervention, maybe, and just, like, well, maybe because the views are. I've been to Karen's house and Charlie's house, and I mean, just stand on the deck and look out and see it's beautiful. And then
yeah,
the
very
sun rising, the sunset. I've not been to the sunrise, but sunset coming down and just see. I mean, it's just lovely, and they have a lovely community. I've uh, met a lot of the people there. I don't know them as well as I would like to, but I have met them, and they're just lovely, lovely, lovely people. And I'm telling you, if you want to go and see the real Italy and
yeah.
experience the real Italy, and you need to go and stay in their Airbnb in San Martino de Pensolis. It's in Molise near Termoli. I think you would come into Termoli and then take a little car ride to San Martino or
Well, you
bus
can
ride. They've
fly,
got buses too, can't they?
fly into Bari, Rome, or Naples from. America and then get a connection down. You can get a train or a bus or hire a car. You can also fly into Pescara, but I'm not sure if that's possible from the States.
Might
Um,
be a connecting flight in the Europe or somewhere, but yeah, that's good to know. That,
yeah.
you know, but you need to go there, folks. If you really want to see the real Italy and meet some lovely people, British people, but also Italian people, this is the place to go.
Oh, that's one of my dogs. Sorry.
They're coming to say hello. They're coming to say hello.
Oh, hang on, hang on. Come and say hello. So this little one,
Oh,
this is the baby. Well, she's not the baby. She's the smallest inside, but she's the boss and she's the oldest.
poor she.
And one of our Abruzzese actually looks more like a small horse, but he's a gentle giant. Do you remember Rossi?
That isn't that sweet? And what is her name?
This is Betsy,
That's the
and
one.
she came from England.
Yeah.
So we had Betsy and Archie came with us, but unfortunately, he has passed over now. But she has other people to antagonize, don't you, darling?
Such a doll. I've met Betsy and I did meet Archie too. And I think it was Archie that did a nice little.
Kissed you. Yeah.
But this has been fantastic. I love this. And I think we need to do this several more times because I'm not through with finding out about Molise. But folks, please think about if you're going to Italy, go to Karen and Charlie's Airbnb in San Martino de Pensolis and look on Amazon. All the links will be in my post. Find her books on Amazon, and you can get the real story. I think there's more in the books than she told, so you can get the real story. Karen,
Oh, there's lots in the books.
there are. Thank you so much for being my guest today. This has been so fun, so good to see you, and hope to see you real soon. And thanks for everything, and good luck with your entrepreneurship, your next book, and whatever other adventure you decide to take on. I know there's going to be more. This is not the end. So thanks so much for being with me today.
Oh, thank you so much, Nancy. It's been wonderful. I can't wait for you to come back.
Me too.
Oh, and when you do come back, next June we should all go to the Tremity Islands together.
Ag-
That would be amazing.
Agreed. I would love that. I would love that. Thanks again. See you later.